You're listening to WCOM-FM 103.5, broadcasting live from Carborough, North Carolina, and streaming worldwide at WCOMFM.org. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Martini Mondays, Shaking It Up with Ruby Martini and Magnolia Steele. Hey, everybody. Ruby Martini here, along with
Magnolia Steele. Welcome to Martini Mondays, Shaking It Up with us. Hey y'all, this is Magnolia Steele.
Welcome everyone. We are excited to invite you to our audio stage where we flirt with vintage burlesque, ponder random points of interest, and have engaging conversation with our guests. Our focus is women who have inspiring and empowering journeys to share. Our hope is that their words may inspire someone to move forward with an idea or a personal dream. While each of our episodes is a bit thematic, our conversations do grow organically with topics we may or may not have prepared for. We will soon be joined by our guest, Veronica Duncan of Sacred Soul Haven. Magnolia, it is so good to lay eyes on you.
Oh, Ruby, it's wonderful to be here in downtown Carborough, North Carolina. I had to hustle to get here. Honestly, I thought I was going to be late.
Oh, no, Magnolia, do tell.
Well, Ruby, I was on my way here doing fine on time when I caught up with a little traffic on a 2-lane road. There was this beautiful old Pontiac GTO a little ways in front of me. It was going a little too slow, and the traffic was backed up behind it. The cars were passing, and that GTO, when they were able, we were coming up on it, and it was going real slow, like they were really looking at something. Anyway, I finally got in behind it and was ready to pass, and then I saw the bumper sticker, and it read, "Lost in the labyrinth of my mind." And I thought, do these people really expect this GTO might be driven by the Goblin King? Amazing. Anyway, Ruby, I made it on time.
Magnolia, it sounds like you are the babe with the power. I'm so relieved you made it on time. All righty, let's honor our underwriters. Without our underwriters, we would not be here. Huge thanks to
Double Martini Productions, our local nonprofit performing arts collaborative, with a big announcement. Their monthly fundraisers coming up in the afternoon vaudeville of art this Saturday, March 14th. Local artists of all skill levels are invited to draw at this event, featuring live models in vaudeville, pinup, and burlesque costuming, as well as a fun and funky daily fashion. These events are every second Saturday of the month, held at Snow Approach Foundation, located at 129 East King Street, downtown Hillsborough. Artists of all skill levels are invited to draw. Just bring your drawing supplies, and there is plenty of room for easels. Donations of $15 to $25 are suggested. For more information and to register, doublemartini.org, then select Art Draw Event.
Also, Cat Moves Traveling Studio, delivering award-winning dance and fitness coaching, training to you at your location at your convenience. Join Cat every Tuesday for free line dancing from 6 until 7 p.m. at 129 East King Street in Hillsborough. Find out more at catmoves.me. That's cat with a K, catmoves.me. Also, perfect Timing Celebrations, providing personalized, traditional, and contemporary officiant services with budget-friendly rates to help keep your wedding or vow renewal stress-free. Find them on Facebook. Search Perfect Timing Celebrations.
All our underwriters are linked to our Facebook page.
Find us on Facebook by searching at WCOMRuby, and you can become an underwriter of our broadcast by emailing us at WCOMRuby@gmail.com.
So excited about today's episode. Today, Ruby and I are welcome Veronica Duncan in the Sacred Soul Haven. We will be bringing Veronica on board in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Magnolia. Yes, indeed. We are looking forward to bringing Veronica onto our audio stage. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. This is our 10th episode of Martini Mondays, shaking it up with Ruby Martini and Magnolia Steele. We've been collaborating with each other since 2018 as members of the Bottom Line Burlesque and Comedy Troupe under the nonprofit umbrella of Double Martini Productions. The troupe was founded in 2012 and we've been performing since 2013. Magnolia joined the troupe in spring of 2018 and has not looked back. We proposed our audio shenanigans to WCOM in the fall of 2025 and they said, bring it on. Our audio stage is a new adventure for us and we are super excited to be here. So here we go.
Yes. In our previous episode, we talked about the ballad operas. Today, we are mentioning the introduction to the traveling train. Or wait a minute, train travel. Sorry. In mid-1800s, allowing performers to expand their markets and popularity. As it happened in most industries, there were two businessmen to create the Association of Vaudeville Managers of the United States, resulting in the performers submitting a portion of their salaries to be included in bookings and promotional materials through performing still had to provide their own costumes and sets and cast and other materials. Now we know to blame the train for the introduction of money-hungry agents and managers.
My goodness, Magnolia, thank you for that. Let's stay off the trains, huh? Each segment of Back in Time Burlesque teases a dancer or performer from the vintage era of burlesque. Today, we are going to honor Dixie Evans. Dixie was born Mary Lee Evans in Long Beach, California on August of 1926. Dixie had a challenging childhood that made the best of her entrepreneurial skills as a young woman working a variety of jobs, from laboring in celery fields to becoming an aircraft mechanic during World War II. She eventually found her way to stages to become a chorus dancer and soon after discovered burlesque pays almost 4 times as much. So she focused on that stage. In the early 1950s, she was headlining Burlesque Star on the West Coast until she was approached by Harold Minsky, who promised her steady work in his chain of burlesque theaters, but only if she adapted her stage persona to that of Marilyn Monroe, a rising star of the day. Dixie at first declined, but the offer of steady work changed her mind. In real life, Evans was 40, 26, 34, a bit bustier than Monroe, a trait Evans took full advantage of. When Monroe died in 1962, Evans prepared a tribute for her that was very well received, but soon after that, she retired the act as she was uncomfortable performing a gimmick for a celebrity no longer of this earth. In 1990, Dixie took over the annual reunion of the Exotic Dancers League and the Burlesque Museum named Exotic World, which is now known as the Burlesque Hall of Fame. It is thought Dixie gave one last impression of Marilyn Monroe at the 2002 Teaserama in San Francisco. Dixie Evans exited the earthly stage on August 3rd, 2013, at a very sassy age of 86. Dixie has an incredible, highly faceted, very deep history in the burlesque community, and I hope you will do a deeper dive to learn about Dixie Evans and American burlesque. And with that, we'll move into our next weekly segment, after which we will introduce our guest. And we broadcast each episode with positivity, gratitude, and intention. And every week before we begin our conversation, we ask our guest to draw an intention card from one of Magnolia's decks. Veronica, keeping the cards face down. You may simply select a card, reshuffle them, lay them on the counter, however you want to choose. And once you have picked one, hand it to Magnolia, who will engage one of her uncanny superpowers to interpret the reading of your card. It is time now for Manifesting a Moment with Magnolia.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take in a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Veronica has picked a card, and it is Bloom Like a Badass. I don't know. Can I say that on my air?
I think so.
I like that. I mean, it's a beautiful card. It also has a little dragonfly in the corner, and you know, dragonflies mean overcoming obstacles. They are so that's a you always have to look for those little things in these cards. So now let's take another cleansing breath. And now that we've set our intentions and we've got the cleansing breath, we are very happy to introduce today's topic, Igniting Lasting Wellness with Veronica Duncan.
Thank you, Magnolia. All right, listeners, this week we are super excited to welcome Veronica Duncan. This week we welcome another North Carolina native. Veronica was born in Durham and has lived in several Orange County crossroads along the way, but has spent the majority of her days in Hillsborough. Veronica is a holistic healer, a Reiki Master, an artist, and a guide for wellness on many levels. In addition to being a boy mom, she loves getting dirt under her fingernails and sand betwixt her toes. We are very excited to welcome Veronica to our stage. Veronica, thank you for joining us.
Hi, I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I would love for you to do is to let our listeners know what your studio is and where they can find you online.
Sure. My studio is at my home. It is in Hillsborough off of Orange Grove Road. Appointment only, of course. And you can find me online. My website is sacredsoulhaven.art.
Very easy to remember. Yeah. So if you could let our listeners know what the practice of Reiki is.
Sure. It's so magical and surprising. Sometimes it's really hard to kind of define it and actually have it give you an idea of how wonderful it is. But Reiki is a Japanese form of energy healing where the practitioner acts as a conduit for channeling universal life force energy to the recipient. And in doing so, it can dissolve blockages and promote the body's natural self-healing ability.
Very good. I love that information. So how did you journey into the world of Reiki?
Wow, my journey has been so long, chasing my passions and most of the many career paths I've dabbled in did contain a portion or part of a passion. And it wasn't until I found Reiki that I realized that was the one that encompassed all of my skills, abilities, desires, and passions in that one practice.
And how long have you been practicing Reiki?
I've been practicing Reiki for over 20 years, as a master since 2018. 2018. So a good stint.
What was your first experience with Reiki personally?
Okay, so my first experience Reiki was I won a Reiki session. This was at a networking event, and at the time I was working as a dog behavioral therapist and trainer, which was also a passion for little furries and having peace within the household.
Lovely.
So I win this session. I don't even know what it is, even though it's explained like what it does. And I was like, I don't really understand it, but and thought this, could be a good thing. Well, I pulled my back out, working with a exuberant Dalmatian, and it's kind of pain that I usually resolve very quickly with a heating pad or a little bit of medication while things heal, but it was very persistent. So I decided to schedule that Reiki session. And after I got up off the table, I realized I was not in any pain anymore, and it never came back. And I was just so taken by that. I thought, I really need to know how to do this for myself. And so I very quickly after that signed up for Reiki 1 class.
So how long what is the study time like to learn that art?
The art of Reiki?
Yes.
Well, Reiki 1 class is like a weekend, and Reiki 2 is a weekend, and then it also depends on the Reiki Master. They offer it in different stints or weekly things, and but it's the mastership is longer. We met multiple times over a year-long period. But it's the time commitment seems very minute in what you receive back and what you learn.
That's excellent information, Magnolia. I know. Full disclosure to our listeners, Magnolia is also a Reiki Master, and I think that maybe we can let these two have a little conversation about their experiences, maybe with their clients or on the table. And I, full disclosure, have been on Veronica's table with Magnolia present in the room and gotten double Reiki'd before my first breast cancer appointment surgery, and it was powerful. So speaking from someone who is not in the art, I came away from that table mesmerized with the feelings that I felt. My mom was there too, so it is powerful.
It is absolutely. Veronica does it as the practice and Reiki. For me, when I went through the mastership, it opened up areas that I had shut down through my life. There was a lot of inner healing and it's not just, it's hard to explain that it goes in and it moves not just blockages that actually can block the body and flow, but blockages in how you see yourself and you can grow. And I think it's a wonderful process and healing to go through. It pulls back layers. I'm not to quote Shrek or anything, but we're all onions, and it takes all of that peeling away to figure out exactly who we are as individuals.
That's a great way to describe it. Who are we underneath all that stress and all the gunk that we've collected over the years? And it's so freeing. Like,
oh yeah,
if you've seen the movie Shawshank Redemption,
yes.
it is like that. It is so redeeming.
It is, and I think that, everybody needs to experience it. I just do.
I would agree with that. Having no idea what it was, well, I shouldn't say no idea, having peripheral information about it, but having never been on a table before, it was it was intense in a very calm and relaxing way. Mm-hmm. And it was well worth the time spent on the table with you guys to, just kind of get my headspace in a place that was much more positive than it had been the hour before. The fear just kind of subsides because you find a power in your belly that just takes over all of the fear. So
it is very much light work. Mm-hmm. Very much.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the most powerful aspects of having a Reiki session is one of the most simple things, in that it takes you into silence. I think a big part of the challenge for most everyone these days, things are just noisy, and we don't tend to take the time out to just go be by ourselves in solitude and just quiet all the noise and center ourselves. And I think that's what is a really powerful part of experiencing Reiki.
And I would like to add to that silence is the period at the end of the sentence is not spoken. When you finish, I feel that you've finished. You don't touch me any particular way. You don't say a word. The energy just shifts, and you know that it's completed, which just blows my mind, because the entire process is not, it's hovered touch. It's not full touch.
No.
So it's not like a massage. When they finish massaging you, you know it's over. Mm-hmm. With Reiki, it's so intrinsic that energy swirls, and then it takes a deep breath and just calms itself down. And the first time I was like, I think she's finished, but I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to lay here one more breath, and I think she's done.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a gentle touch as well. Yeah. Some clients have some issues with touching certain places, like covering their eyes, or so it can be done just as powerfully by hovering, and it's not limited by space. So if we do a distance session, it's just as powerful and effective. Yeah. I can do Reiki on someone in China or anywhere on the globe.
Wow. You just have to make sure that they've given you permission.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. That permission
and sort of that quiet space on their end.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You don't want to do Reiki on someone who's like jamming at karaoke.
No,
right.
Absolutely
no. That would be Ruby or Magnolia.
Randomly do Reiki sessions.
A random Reiki. Now
that
would be a business model.
My website.
Well, it's very interesting, because you'll be surprised. And when I went through my class, the people who are actually massage therapists that are Reiki masters, and chiropractors, Reiki masters, to add that extra, because it's that extra layer.
Yeah, so another facet to the practice.
Actually, to our listeners, if you go for regular massages, find out if your massage therapist actually does Reiki at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because it's, you're getting two bangs for your buck. You need
That's right. So I know, Veronica, you had mentioned to us at some point you'd been stuck in sort of a self-sabotaging cycle.
Yes.
And you began sort of becoming a student of Carl Jung's teachings. And
it's fabulous.
I can see that you have a lot of passion just in the way that you had written to us about your studies. So talk to us about your deep dive in the Jungian way.
Sure. So when you're swimming through uncertainty and pain, and when times when relationships end and create deep wounds from betrayal, manipulation, all of those things that most people experience at some point, it left me questioning everything. And I don't remember how I stumbled upon Carl Jung and his work, but it became a lifeline for me at this period of my life. He teaches that we all have a shadow side, the parts of ourselves that we mask or hide away and we don't want people to know about. And we even hide it from ourselves and deny it or just consciously unaware of it. So I started meeting my shadow through Reiki and painting. And I would just sit at the canvas and let whatever come up. And over time, it helped me integrate the wounds rather than allowing them to run the show on the outside and be controlled by emotions or triggers. And it's what Carl Jung called individuation, and it's the journey of becoming your true self, your whole, by making the unconscious conscious. So I believe it's the greatest gift that we can give to anyone in our relationships, and family, friends, clients, all of them. And it allows me to create the space for them to come and discover, heal, and grow as well.
I love that. I jotted down 3 things that you had written that really jumped out at me. The first one was transforming pain into power. Secondly is my worth is not defined by the choices of others.
Yes.
That is a very strong statement. And thirdly, turning wounds into wisdom. I think those 3 nuggets right there, if everyone could work on those 3 aspects of their life, then everything would be easier, right? It's all relevant. So, but yeah, those really got me. So I'm wondering, dear listeners, we are yet again having some issues with our lines in for our music, and I think that we're going to have an experiment today. We're going to do one Martini melody with our rigged setup, not running straight into the board through our line in, and we're just going to play with it and see what happens. And if it's a disaster, then we've learned something, and if it's not a disaster, then we've learned something. So we will play this song from your choice, your lists, and then once it has played, Veronica, just give us a little talk about why the song speaks to you after it plays. Sure. Okay?
Every scar tells a story of strength. Every stumble brings you closer to length. The road may twist, but you're on your way. Feel the fire that lights your day. Be the best version of yourself. Stand tall, let go, break out of that shell. The world's just waiting for you to shine. Release the strength you hold inside. No one else defines who you be. Your path, your dreams, your destiny. So rise above, let your spirit soar. You're capable of so much more. Be the best version of yourself. Stand tall, let go, break out of that shell. The world's just waiting for you to shine. Release the strength you hold inside. Lord, be the best version of you. Stand in the light, make it true. This is your time, no looking back. You're moving forward, right on track.
I just love that song. It's what we've been talking about, being our best self and breaking out of that comfort zone, that shell, and just being the best us that we can be.
I love it. I do. I hope that the song was able to be heard. And we are definitely experiencing a little difficulty with our board this evening. But I think that, well, we'll see. Magnolia.
Yeah. So you mentioned to us that during some of your healing a few years ago that you felt the suspended between the past and the future. And through Reiki and your intuitive painting, you were able to process the emotion in a healing way. Mm-hmm. Your canvas art, very beautiful and so vivid and playful and saturated full of that color that you almost feel like you are stepping into the art. It's it really does draw you in. It makes you feel really close to all the details. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about your art and the how you expanded it into your therapeutic kind of art sessions. Libby, I forgot to say the name. It's Paint for Your Soul.
That is Paint from Your Soul.
Paint from Your Soul.
Mm-hmm. That sounds beautiful.
Well, I used to do the fun paint parties where you do like the sip and paint.
We all
nights
like to
that everybody loves.
We all like to sip and paint. Yeah, we can get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's joyful, fun, and exciting. Lots of laughs. Over time, I noticed something deeper, like what it would bring out in people. They, laughing. Sometimes tears would come, or they would share a story that they had completely forgot about, a part of their life, and hadn't talked about or told anyone in years. And I realized painting isn't just pretty and fun, but it's like a doorway to our unconscious. And that's when I felt pulled to study the therapeutic side of art. Like you said, Reiki in itself is very powerful, but a lot of people do something else to help, create the income they need to kind of pay the bills. And I did look into massage therapy, but it just wasn't clicking for me. And so when I ran across Paint from Your Soul, I immediately jumped on that and went through that certification. And I'm just very excited. I can share a brief story about the process. So I'm in class and we do paintings, it's just, okay, we go through a painting and processes of, okay, well, let's paint sad. Okay, now let's paint happy. Let's paint confidence. Let's paint, all these emotions. And now she's like, okay, pick the painting that you hate. Mm-hmm. And then we went through and talked about why we hated it. And so I picked confidence.
Yes.
I hated that painting. It was just, she's like, okay, well, what is it about it that you dislike? And I said, well, it's just too bold. It's loud. It's out of control. And she's like, so what does that tell you? And I was like, wow, I somehow have been internally believing that to be a confident person that you have to be bold, loud, and out of control. And that wasn't working for me. And it just, there's these profound moments that you don't even expect, these little treasures that you find when you're exploring in that way.
That could be a self-assignment. because we did touch on shadow work, and that's definitely getting to know that inner person, that true self. Most of us don't even know who we truly are.
I actually had this next point that I wanted to talk about, which is being your true self or your authentic self. And you had asked, what does this mean to be your authentic self? And I would love to hear your take on that and what you think our listeners can begin to do in order to bloom that blossom of becoming your authentic self. It's so multifaceted, of course, but
Okay. Wow. So how do I summarize this? For me, being my authentic self is knowing who I am. It's loving myself and being okay.
Yeah,
and that's
right
all
there.
of me. The good, bad, the ugly.
That was it right there.
I know. I felt
the light, the
Yeah.
dark.
I felt it. It hit me like it's
I
in
know.
your skin, girl. in your
Cold
skin.
chills.
Absolutely.
Cold chills just checked into the studio.
And it's a never-ending learning process because,
Yeah.
I mean, I still, and I feel this is a lifelong journey until we go to the next realm. It's and it's so exciting. I face challenges and triggers like they're my best friends now. Like when I get triggered, I just start processing. Okay, I don't react like I used to. I yell, scream, or whatever it is. The reactions are gone, and I just go into the learning process.
Yeah, because
I
know that. I know that you're a triple threat. You know what I know, and you're the only person I've ever met that is that. And I find that
I'm not even in the Reiki world, but I totally get the entire reaction suppression without it being a suppression. It's like being in control of your reactions. You know the things that could easily throw you over the edge, but you're able to step back a couple of steps instead of going over the edge and step back and say, why? Why does this why is this a burr under my saddle?
Yes.
Why? Let me remove it. Let me just remove that burr and we're done. And I think for a lot of people, they don't quite get the process is that simple to just get an emotional integrity or just emotional maturity.
Absolutely.
And being able to have the maturity emotionally to separate logic from reaction. And I just, I know a lot of people who just jump, man, they were just like, every little thing throws them over the edge.
You know, I taught
So
my
much
children.
energy.
I told my children, I said, the comment my daughter would make about my son was, well, he made me. And I was like, ooh. I said, he didn't make you do anything. I said, the one thing we can control is our own selves. And I said, if you're angry, you made the decision to be angry. You make that, and I'm not saying sadness, there is a grieving process, but you can take it and then go, I can be sad over this, but it isn't going to define me.
Right.
We can go through all the motions that are there, but don't let them define you or limit you into the trigger. It's just, it is so much that way.
I extracted a quote from you to quote Veronica. She said, there were days I wanted to quit, but something deeper kept whispering, keep going. You're becoming more of your authentic self. If you're feeling stuck right now, trust that same whisper. One small, brave step toward your inner truth can change everything. That's beautiful.
That's really good.
Wow.
You wrote that.
Yes, girl, you did.
We don't realize how often we give our power away. And we don't realize that we have the reins in our hands.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how loud we scream or how upset we get, we're not changing that person.
No, absolutely
that's
not.
sitting across from us. And but now it's like every time I hear have a client that has an aha moment, or they'll say something like, "Oh, I felt like me again," and it reminds me of why I kept showing up for my own healing. I mean, I can't hold space for theirs if I don't have it myself, and it just helps inspire me to keep me going.
I think that's the beauty of Reiki, how it literally changes every aspect of who you are going through the process. And when you do Reiki on somebody else, it also ministers to you at the same time. And I don't think people realize that it's everybody in that room. When you do a group session, everybody gets a nugget. Everybody gets it.
I love what you said about ministering to yourself, because that speaks volumes, that you are getting a benefit by giving.
Oh, absolutely.
And I just think in life in general, we all know that the more we give, the more we receive. And the more you open to giving, the bigger the door opens for you to receive. And saying the practitioner is also receiving is by giving. It's just like, man, that's like the best pretzel logic in the world. I give so I can receive, and I receive because I give, and I give because I receive, and I give. Yeah.
I would love to share with you guys the most profound change that I have seen in myself, and how I've handled emotions. Last June 10th, my sister, I'm going to get a little emotional just because it's
okay.
still, my sister, Ginger, left this realm. She was 3 years older than me, and we were pretty close. And I did not plan to talk about this today, but this card that I pulled earlier, we just had a celebration birthday for her daughter. Yes, yesterday, last night.
Wow. Yeah.
And my brother-in-law gave me this wonderful necklace, this beautiful gift, and it's got my sister's ashes in it, and I am so thankful for that and cherish it. But my niece shared with me that, and this tattoo that she got in memory of her mom, and also that how significant dragonflies are to her. Like, that's how she experiences her mom now. And when you pointed out this dragonfly on this card, I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to talk about today. And this is something my sister would say, bloom like a badass.
I love it.
So you need to take a picture of that card, so you can make it the background.
Okay.
Because that's, now I'm going to say something that, give me your hand. I have a dragonfly on my foot that most people don't see. So does my daughter. And now you're saying it's your sister and her daughter. Girl, if you don't go get you a dragonfly tattoo, I'm just telling you, she's letting you know that she's going to always be here.
Oh, well, I know she is. And
but you need to take a picture of that and put it as your background on your phone.
I will say, so far we are batting 1,000 with the card draws every week. Every week the cards are significant. And how did we know? We didn't. And that was a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
I don't know how you sense things with energy. I know it's different for different energy workers, but I scanned those cards with my palm, and when I landed on top of that one, the heat was like a hair dryer, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one.
That's the one. So I did spread them out so that I know y'all can't see in the studio. It's funny because we talk about the different ways that I do this. when I read, because I do tarot, I literally shuffle the cards, they fly out. And some tarot readers don't take the flyaways, and I think the flyaways are significant. So everybody reads differently. But
I use the palm as well.
You
the
do?
palm heat, yeah, I do. And it may be I'm holding and going through this way and moving them, and this palm feels it, or it could be going this way and that palm feels it. Because everyone on the radio can see what I'm doing. Because you're all magicians out there.
yes, and we're all shaking our heads in here agreeing.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because we can nod loudly. Oh my goodness! One thing that I have jotted down, and this is just my little thing. It's like in reading your past career paths, all the things you've done in the past, I feel a kindred spirit with you, because I jokingly tell people all the time I've been laid off more than anyone that I know, but it's really true. Just being at the wrong place at the wrong time, the wrong job, the wrong people coming in and buying your business, or they go bankrupt, or just the bank debacle of 2008, laid off. So, I was going to say that regarding your journey to where you are now, which is very calm and serene and peaceful, you went through a lot of very active positions to get to where you are. Talk to us about the little pieces you may have taken along the way to make a new strand into this place where you are currently.
Like for my past positions. Let's see. I went to college and got a commercial art degree. Art was my passion. It has been for, since I could walk. My dad was a big influence on that. So after that, I did a few internships and became a production artist at the Times News in Burlington. And that was really fun because I got to do lots of different things. You deal with lots of different personalities. As in a retail, which I was a retail manager at one time as well, building on those skills of communication and dealing with lots of different personalities and challenges. Preschool teacher, children they just are my heart fire. I love children. I would rather spend time with kids than I would adults, to be honest. They're just so precious. Their souls are so innocent, and I just want every single one to know that they're loved and that they have a purpose. So I delivered mail, Graham and surrounding areas, and
were you a walking mail deliverer, or were you in the?
I was a rural carrier, so I drove around. I drove a right-hand drive Subaru, y'all.
Oh, fun!
It took a little time to get used to it, but even now, sometimes I find myself drifting too far to the right side of the road because my perspective changed. But the biggest thing I took from that job was don't stay in a mundane, brain-deadening job.
Right.
Step out of your, comfort zone because, I enjoy being on the road and the freedom of that, but just the 4 hours of standing there in front of that case, just chunking the letters, case in the mail, was just like, oh no, this is not for me. So part of it is learning what you don't want to do.
I feel like what happens a lot of times with creatives is you don't realize the box that you're in until you've been in it too long, and then you just got to get out.
That you accidentally glued yourself in from the inside.
Yes, exactly. You can't get out the escape hatch.
If you're in a position where, the only time you have fun is when you bring the blow-up doll for your coworker's birthday.
Okay, we are going to we're going to end on the blow up doll note because I think that's a great place to end.
Because both of us did a mental look at what time it was. We got sucked down the rabbit hole, but that's okay.
I was going to tell my mother's favorite joke about a blow up doll, but we'll save that for another. Oh my goodness! All right, let's see, Veronica. Do you have any upcoming exhibits or painting events or anything that you would like to share with us?
Well, my practice used to be downtown, which you guys know, and some people know, some people don't. And the construction on my home studio is getting close to the end and being completed. Mm-hmm. So once that is done, I will ramp up the Paint From Your Soul again.
Nice.
And start doing Reiki in that studio rather than my home. But there's also something very exciting happening, which I've been wanting for a few years, and that is a labyrinth. A meditation labyrinth is being created on my property. And the guy who's doing this, he is so creative, and his landscaping designs, just all of them have his heart and soul in them. If I could, his name is Tom Brogan, and if you need any landscaping design done, his number is 919-368-3605.
There you go.
So he, it's going to be great. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, I'm under Veronica Duncan Healing Arts, and you can watch the progress of these things getting completed, and probably get quicker updates there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So for more information, they need to go to sacredsoulhaven.art. Remember that the unique art drawing event for all artists, all skill levels, Double Martini at the afternoon of Vaudeville Arts, Saturday, March 14th. For more information, go to doublemartini.org.
All right. So all you Shakers, join us next week on Monday, the 16th of March, when we welcome Sudi Rackison and Kim Marie Patinio. Sudi is an Orange County artist of multi-mediums, canvases, tiles, sculpture, households, and more. Kim Marie is Sudi's rock star art assistant and an amazing graphics designer. So, we'll see you all next week. And until then, all you Shakers, keep on shaking.